The desert sun burned low over the Tombstone horizon when Marcus Holloway heard the words that froze his blood. "We'll take the girl." 3 riders sat their horses in his yard like vultures, eyes fixed on the porch where little Sarah swept corn husks, humming an innocent tune. Marcus's hand instinctively moved toward the rifle by the fence post, and when he shouted, "She's not for sale," the child turned, her wide eyes locking onto his. And then, she called him Papa. That single word hit Marcus like a bullet to the chest. Because Sarah wasn't his blood, everyone in town knew it. Yet for 2 years since her mother died, she had only known one protector, one comfort, one home, Marcus. But now strangers claimed her, not for money alone, but for blood ties, for gold, and for power. So the question wasn't just who Sarah belonged to. It was, what truly makes a family, blood or love? If this story already has your heart pounding, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more Wild West heartwarming tales, and share this video with someone who believes in the power of chosen family. Your support keeps stories like this alive. And trust me, you won't want to miss how this one ends. The dust hadn't even settled from their boots when Marcus Holloway heard it, words sharp enough to slice through the Arizona heat. "We'll take the girl." 3 riders sat tall in his yard, their horses stamping the earth, their eyes like wolves circling prey. The leader, thin and cold, pointed a gloved finger toward the porch. And there she was, Sarah, just 8 years old, sweeping corn husks into neat piles, humming to herself. She had no idea her world was about to crack wide open. Marcus's chest tightened. For 2 long years, it had been just him and Sarah on this dry, struggling ranch outside Tombstone. Her mother, Maria, had died of fever, leaving him with nothing but a promise and a child. Sarah had started calling him Papa only 6 months back. At first, the word was hesitant, as if she were testing it. But soon, she spoke it with fierce certainty, and Marcus never corrected her. Now those strangers had come to take her, not for kindness, not for love, but because they claimed she wasn't his. And in that instant, Marcus knew. This fight would test not just his ranch, but the very meaning of family. Marcus's hand hovered near the Winchester propped against the fence post, his voice breaking the tension like a whip. "She's not for sale." The silver-toothed rider just grinned. "Everything's for sale, Holloway. Question is, the price." Sarah glanced up from her sweeping, her dark eyes, so much like her mother's, wide with fear. She dropped the broom and stepped closer, her voice trembling but clear. "Papa?" That single word struck harder than any bullet. She wasn't his blood. Everyone knew it. But for 2 years, through scraped knees, bedtime stories, and long winters, she had been his. The leader leaned forward, his smile never touching those dead eyes. "The girl's got Comanche in her veins. Her grandmother wants her back." Marcus froze. Maria had been half Comanche, yes, but she'd never spoken of living kin. She'd told him they were all gone. The rider dropped a pouch onto the dirt. Gold spilled out, flashing in the sunlight. Enough to save the failing ranch, enough to buy survival. But when Sarah pressed her small hand into his calloused palm and whispered, "I don't want to go," Marcus knew. This was no negotiation. It was a storm, and it was only just beginning. The riders vanished in a cloud of dust, promising to return by sunset. Marcus stood frozen, Sarah's small hand clutching his, the gold coins glinting in the dirt like cursed stars. Then came another sound, hoofbeats, steady, deliberate. Over the ridge appeared Sheriff Tom Bradley and 2 deputies. Their badges caught the dying light, flashing like tiny suns. The sheriff dismounted slow, his face set in grim lines. "Marcus, we need to talk." The words chilled him more than the stranger's threats. Tom pulled a folded paper from his vest. "Got a wire from Fort Sill. Says a Comanche child named Sarah White Fox was taken from her grandmother 2 years ago. Says the man who took her was her mother's lover, a rancher named Marcus Holloway." The air seemed to collapse around him. Kidnapper. Thief. That's what the law would call him now. Maria brought Sarah to me, Marcus said, his voice raw. She was dying, Tom. You know that. But the sheriff's eyes held the weight of law, not friendship. What I know don't matter. The law says the girl belongs with her blood. Until proven otherwise, she goes with them. And as more riders thundered closer, Marcus realized this wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about truth. By the time the sheriff finished speaking, the horizon was already boiling with dust. A dozen riders thundered into the yard, Crow Feather's silver teeth glinting in the fading sun. They weren't just Comanche. Some were hired guns, their hard faces and tied-down pistols spelling trouble. The sheriff shifted uneasily, caught between law and conscience. Marcus stood rooted, unarmed, Sarah clinging to his side. The air buzzed with silence, heavy as storm clouds. And then, Sarah stepped forward. Her small fist clutched the silver locket Marcus had given her on her birthday, her mother's keepsake. She lifted it high, her young voice carrying across the circle of men. My mama gave this to Papa. She said he would keep me safe. And he has. He braids my hair, he tells me stories about her, and he lets me name every chicken we have, even though he says they read too dumb to know their names. A ripple of unease passed through the riders. Even the mercenaries shifted, struck by her simple honesty. Crow Feather crouched to meet her eyes. For the first time, his voice softened. Your mother was brave, just like you. And in that moment, Sarah's courage did what Marcus's rifle never could. It cracked open hardened hearts. The tension held like a drawn bow. Men shifted in their saddles, hands hovering near their guns. Then an elder rider, Thomas Crow Wing, broke the silence. His weathered voice carried steady authority. Running Fox is my sister, he said. She longs to see her granddaughter, but grief does not give us the right to steal her from the only father she has ever known. Crow Feather bristled, but the old man's words carried weight. He turned to Marcus. Would you bring the child to visit her grandmother? Not to surrender her, but to let an old woman see her blood. Marcus looked at Sarah. Her eyes were wide, uncertain, but she nodded. I'd like that, Papa. And just like that, the storm broke. Riders turned their horses, leaving peace where moments earlier there had been the threat of violence. Sarah slipped her hand back into Marcus's, the gold coins forgotten in the dirt. That night, as Marcus tucked her in, she whispered, Papa, do you think Mama would be proud? He gazed at the stars above. I think she'd be very proud. Because family, they had learned, isn't bound by blood. It's built by love. And that's the story of Marcus and Sarah. A rancher, a child, and a love stronger than gold. If this tale moved you, make sure to hit subscribe for more Wild West heartwarming stories, and don't forget to like and share so others can feel the power of family too.